So today I'm going to share with you some of the answers that I got from my friends when I posted a question relating a Christian dating a non-Christian on my WhatsApp status. I know that this is one of the questions that are, if you have been following this series of the Good Soil, that you get to understand that I've been picking random questions that seem very simple, that seem very straight, and trying to go through them. If you have been following, you'll know that of lately I've been, trying to react to some of the questions that have been trending for some years now. So I posted a question on my status asking people if it's okay for a Christian to date a non-Christian. And I was super amazed by some of the responses that I got from people.
So Hillary, you are not a Christian. It won't work.
I can take a couple of verses from the Bible that I personally myself have read, and I have maybe one day or two heard from a pastor preaching or heard them from a conversation of Christians. Well, what I know is that I have highlighted here on my pad two verses that are actually highlighting on what should happen when a Christian is ready to marry or when a Christian is at the point of dating. One of the most famous verses that even some of the people who wanted to respond to the question that I asked mentioned: two only work together when they are in agreement. If you translate this verse, it simply means that for two people to actually agree on something, it means that they belong to that class, like they are part of whatever they are agreeing to. So according to the Bible, it was clear that when you are looking for a partner, it's kind of hard for you to go out and pick someone who is not a Christian. There was also a verse in the Bible that was talking about a wife, and this verse is in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 from verse 39. This verse says that a wife is inclined to the husband, and this verse went on further to say, even when the husband is dead, it's better for the wife to remain unmarried. But if the wife was to remarry, it should only be to a Christian. Like, this wife has to choose someone who is already born again. And I remember one of this verse came up because someone raised it and said, you know what, we have to choose from within the church. We have to choose from people who are already believing, people who are already in the light. But the most interesting thing that we generally know as people of God is that Christ came to die for everyone, like everyone who is willing and who is obedient enough to the gospel of Christ is able to access the mercy of God. But here in the Bible was very clear that when you are born again or you've been married, if you are to remarry, you have to choose from within. Personally, when I looked at this question, I got to realize that Christ came to die for everyone. It does not exclude people who are not yet born again. I mean, at some point, I was not born again, I was living in the world, but that did not mean God hates me. What I got to learn is that God hates sin, but He loves the sinner. That is why Christ had to come and die for me and many others who are not yet born again. And the other thing that I got to draw from my understanding as a child of God is that the Gentiles, as referred in the Bible, are also partakers of the grace of God. There is a verse in the book of Ephesians chapter 3 verse 6 which clearly highlights that Gentiles are also partakers. They are also partakers of the grace of God if they obey the gospel of Christ Jesus. And also, one thing that I also want to highlight is that there are Christians today who are living in sin, yet they believe. And I want to also highlight that if we look around the society today, even if we look in the church, there are people who got married because they were already born again, but it didn't work. And there are instances that we can also give that everyone knows, whereby someone was not born again, but got married to Moto Dumelang and everything worked out. So I think the bottom line of the question of this question is that who do you marry? Not should a Christian marry or date a non-believer. I think the biggest thing that we should take is that whom do you marry? Like, there are people who have been married and converted I also want to, in the end, highlight that yes, it is a risky thing as a child of God to be involved with someone who does not believe, because you can, in the process, be taken out of faith or be led astray. But I also want to highlight in the end that we, people of God, need to embrace Gentiles, unbelievers, people who doubt. We need to embrace them. And we need to bring them to the light through the love that we show them. We shouldn't marginalize our faith on the basis that, no, I'm a believer, you know what, they cannot go out and date this person. If I date this person, it's against the Bible. The love of Christ within you should be strong enough to be able to overturn, to change, and to transform that very person that you love and bring that person to the light. I would really want to hear what people think, because personally, myself, I believe dating a non Christian is a chance to win a soul to Christ.